I think our 4 fundamentals have been pivotal in really moving our work forward. So we're really clear on, in order to do this work, it's a system-wide change, a system effort anchored in those 4 fundamentals. So whether we're approaching it through early mathematics, early literacy, or 8-9 on track, the fundamentals are our center, kind of our core of our work, and that districts know that you've all seen change come and go, but if you do the change and adjust the system to support those changes, then that change will be more long-lasting beyond our collaboration.
Oftentimes we start with what are the expectations for students in the standards. Do teachers know those expectations? Are they teaching those expectations? Is that been spread through the whole district?
So we can't have children who get a great first grade teacher and then maybe a not so great second grade teacher and a not so great third grade teacher. We need everybody to be great. And if everybody's great, then that child now graduating from the system has had a consistent, coherent program because those effective practices are present everywhere.
And I think, wow, that makes so much sense. So now having to collaborate with the other TK teachers or even the teachers in K collaborating with FIRST, it's the same idea. You need to make their job easier and set the students up for success by teaching them those strategies and skills.
So all the standards grow, on previous standards, right? And so it's important that everyone that is a part of the team, whether it's, from preschool all the way up to 3rd or 2nd grade, they all realize that we're all doing the same thing, just making it a little more rigorous as they grow with the grade levels.
What are those high quality or those effective practices to actually meet those expectations? And oftentimes it's in the classroom, in the work that we do. So what is the high quality practice that a teacher is going to do to help students actually meet those grade level standards? And then how do you know that you're making the impact you intend? How is your instruction making the impact?
So oftentimes as classroom teachers, we think my job is to teach 2nd grade. And now what we're really trying to position them to think about is how does my job as a 2nd grade teacher serve to get students from 1st grade, pick them up from where they're at, and help them bridge to 3rd grade. And they're seeing that coherence through a focus on common high leverage instructional practices, and teachers are sharing, wow, this is the first year ever when my kiddos came in and they already knew certain routines and instructional practices that's allowing us to go deeper and further with the math than we were last year in March. We're already there in September.
I think the biggest change is trying to teach less. And that sounds a little weird, but having things more student-driven and allowing students to explore mathematics in different ways rather than just listening to me lecture.
The first thing we did was change the retake policy for the whole math department to offering 100% retakes, unlimited amount of times to the students. That way you just tell them, you know what, it's not about how fast you are, it's not about how good you are that first time, it's about, by the end of this, did you learn the math that I think you need to know to go on to the next class?
Our 3rd fundamental is really about monitoring student progress and using those data to actually guide instruction.
Data grounds the conversation, both in perceptions we might have and the assumptions we make. Bringing data and presenting it on the table really makes you have honest conversations around the reality, not just for the system, but for also the students.
So I think one of the really hard things about data is that we've gone through cycles where it's weaponized. And I think what Cal Ed Partners does so well is remind you to humanize the data, to really think around how is this showing that we're building progress.
I think that when our data is presented, it really shows the value of this work. I think that it's something that can be adopted and adapted to different districts.
I think a lot of the times when people see data, they get really intimidated by it. But if you look at it as something to help you as a teacher, then you're really going to grow. So that's a big thing for me.
We saw the data, the alignment, and the systems that were structured in a format that would really benefit our English language learners.
Our staff is seeing the positive results, specifically the DNF rate, and the positive results with the number of students with a percentage of 3.0 and higher and the completion of the A to G rates, that it's somewhat irrefutable. So my hope is that our other departments really grab hold of the in-class intervention like the math department did, and that we see even lower DNF rates and even higher GPAs.
Through all of this work, we have to ensure that we're building the capacity of our adults, specifically our teachers and our administrators.
So part of it's, really understanding we're all in the same boat. We're all going through the same things, even though we're in different places and different contexts.
And that's one thing I really, really like about our meetings is that pretty much everyone I work with is involved in our meetings that we have, and that includes my principal, the teachers that I work with, even people from the district office. So we're all part of those decision-making processes.
I believe that when we leave, we will have a culture that has shifted more towards student learning, student-centered, thinking about what are the assets that students have, whether it's linguistically or culturally or with their understanding. And then I also believe that we will have systems in place to sustain it, so that if you're new to the district, we have a way to bring you into the work that we're doing. So we're going to leave with some clarity of our vision, but we're also going to leave with some systems in place.
It's just been one of the best things I think I've ever done in my 27 years. Couldn't have been probably more proud than anything I've ever done in my work and working with and changing children's lives.